Did you know that franchising accounts for 10% of all businesses? This was based on a report from the United States Census Bureau. And so in a second, we're going to go across the street. We're in Orlando here, kind of in the heart of Orlando, only 10 minutes from Disney World, 5 minutes from Universal. We're going to go across the street to the shopping center. And I'm wondering, can you guess how many of the businesses in that shopping center are franchises? There are 54 businesses in that shopping center. So let's go take a look. All right, guys, I have a special guest here who's going to help me record some of this footage. We're going to go over to this shopping center. This is my wife, Bridget. This is going to be the first video that she's been featured in on YouTube. How do you feel about that? You love it? You're excited about that? All right, so let's check out the shopping center. All right, so let's go check out the shopping center and see how many franchises are in here. Bridget had a guess. What was your guess? Well, actually, let's not tell people because you already have a sneak peek of all of the businesses in here. But what is your guess? And we're gonna go through and we're gonna count how many franchises are in here. There's some really big names too, and probably some ones that might surprise you. So let's go take a look. All right, so here we got Pigtails and Crew Cuts. That's a franchise. It's actually where we take our son to get his hair cut. Then we got Mathnasium. That is also a franchise. We got State Farm. That is not a franchise, actually. Technically, you own an agency, so not a franchise there. That Lotus Garden Place is not a franchise, but then we got, guess what? Pizza Hut. Pizza Hut is definitely a franchise. What do we got here? We got Clean Juice. That's a franchise. UPS Store. That's a franchise. And you got H&R Block. That's a franchise. Kiki's Breakfast Cafe. Kiki's is a franchise. All right, so if I did my math right, so far we have 7 so far that are franchises, which is quite a bit. We're not even halfway through the shopping center right now. We've already got 7. Remember, there's 54 businesses that are open in this shopping center. So let's go take a look and see what else that we got here. All right, so that's not a franchise, that's not a franchise, that's not a franchise. Ding, 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 there we go. We've got another one. We've got actually 2 side by side. We've got Wolfgang Bakery and Freshie. Both of those are franchises. And actually Wolfgang Bakery also does grooming, and that's where we've taken our dog before. So actually I think I'm gonna take a break from this video for a second. I'm gonna go pop in and make a dog grooming appointment for my dog. So here's a cool thing about franchises, that it offers consistency in terms of experience. Like if there's a Wolfgang Bakery by you, then you probably know what it is to expect. Every time you go to McDonald's, you kind of tend to expect the same experience. And so, although this is the first Wolfgang that I've been to, I would imagine the experience is probably very similar all throughout the country. So let's go in. Hey, good, how are you? Awesome. I want to see what your availability was to make a dog. All right, so here on the other side of the shopping center, we got Great Clips and Hand and Stone. Those are both franchises as well. And if we look all the way over there, you might be able to see it. There's a Club Pilates that's also a franchise. And then right over there, I don't know if you can see it past the sign, or we'll walk over there, there's a You Break I Fix, and that's a franchise as well. You Break I Fix is one of the fastest growing brands. I think they've got over 500 locations. They've only been in business like 7 or 8 years. We actually almost bought that location right there. I don't know if I should be saying that, but I came that close to buying that location as an existing location. I got nervous about a couple things that I can't really talk about because I signed an NDA, but almost bought it. So Bridget, what do you think about franchises and franchising overall? You were pretty against us opening up the franchise initially. I have to tell you guys,
as a consumer and as a small business owner, I've owned a business for 21 years. When I first started hearing about the franchise model, I was totally against it. I'm a creative person. I like writing my own business plans. However, when we went down the rabbit hole with a juice bar franchise, I started to see the benefits and on why, if you're someone that's interested in owning a business and operating one, why a franchise could be the right model for you. But aside from all that, as a consumer, what I've noticed over the years is that as someone that would never go into a franchise, Now I have several that I love, and I'm sure some of you out there love them as well. One of my favorites is a franchise called Jersey Mike's. Amazing chicken cheesesteaks and consistent service. It tastes the same no matter what city or state that you're eating one in. So that's one that I've come to really love. As Tariq mentioned, we take our dogs to the Wolfgang Bakery. They have a set of groomers that are phenomenal. We know what the experience is going to be, and that's a favorite of ours. We've utilized different services such as insurance and other things that are franchise models. So I think for the average American now, they've come to love and trust franchises. And many of you out there have favorite things that you love to go to that are actually franchises. So I'm now 2 thumbs up for them.
So there's the U-Brake I Fix I was telling you about. That is a franchise and very interesting model. I mean, just repairing items and phones and different things like that. Yeah, like I said, they've exploded in growth over the last 7 or 8 years. So here we have 2 real estate places. So Sotheby's, believe it or not, is actually a franchise real estate company. And then there's another, actually there's 2 over there. There's a Phoenix Salon and Suites, that's a franchise. And then there's I think it's called Anger and Bokers, which is another real estate business. That's a franchise too. So believe it or not, Starbucks is a franchise. The average person can't buy it, but if you own a hotel or something like that, then you can buy a Starbucks franchise. This is a new one, Nick-Fil-A. I was actually surprised. I had no idea, hadn't heard of them. This is only their 3rd location, but that's actually a new franchise. All right, so another spot that we have is Einstein Brothers and Bagels. That's a very popular place in Florida. They're actually kind of all over the place, but that is a franchise as well. Well, if there's one thing that Bridget and I absolutely love, it's steak. I mean, we were just at Nick-Fil-A, right? Which is they have filet mignon sandwiches. Well, now you got Morton's Steakhouse. Morton's is actually a franchise. Now, you can't buy one. They only will franchise internationally, but Morton's is owned by Landry's, which is a huge restaurant and conglomerate that owns a bunch of different restaurant chains. All right, so we're at the end of our journey here. The last one we have is California Closets. California Closets is a franchise. I actually didn't know this. I learned that in doing this video and looking it up, but we almost use California Closets to do our closets in our house. So here's something I forgot to include. Brothers Jimmy Barbecue. Brother Jimmy's Barbecue. That is also a franchise. All right, guys, so let's recap how many of those businesses were franchises. So again, at the beginning of the video, I told you there were 54 businesses in that shopping center right now. There are actually a couple of vacancies. So there are some opening spots, and whether more franchises wind up going in there, who knows? I don't know. Hopefully I counted it all up right in the video, but it turns out there were 22 of the 54 businesses in that shopping center are franchise businesses. They're franchise companies. Now, whether those specific businesses are franchise locations, well, that's a different story, because sometimes franchises do have corporate-owned locations, and there's no way of knowing unless actually talk to the locations or talk to the franchise company. But 22 businesses, think about that for a second. So 40% of the businesses in that shopping center are franchises. That's mind-boggling to think about. You know, as I start to create more and more content and videos around franchising, it really fascinates me more and more. And having been a multi-unit franchise owner myself and bought and sold a couple of locations, I never really did like a real deep dive into the industry and the stats and the opportunity. But think about some of those brands that are in there. I mean, there's something for everyone. Like, no matter what your goals are, what your budget is, what you're into. I mean, you got a UPS store franchise, you have a tax franchise, H&R Block, you have Clean Juice franchise, which is juices and smoothies. You got Kiki's, which is a breakfast cafe. And I mean, those are really expensive to build out comparative to some other franchises. You got Mathnasium, you got, Pigtails and Crew Cuts. You got all these different franchises and opportunities, and it's really interesting and really fascinating. As we wrap this up, I want to share a couple of interesting stats with you, because I think that this is, really fascinating. And if you've enjoyed this video or got value out of this video, found it entertaining, make sure to like and subscribe down below. Drop me a comment about some of the businesses that you were surprised were a franchise. And hopefully you had dropped a comment on what your guess was at the beginning of the video. If not, drop a comment below now and let me know. What did you guess at the beginning of the video? Did you think it was going to be 22 businesses? 40% of all the businesses were going to be a franchise? But here's a couple of interesting stats. So in 2020, franchise employment declined by 11.2% and lost about 940,000 jobs because of the pandemic. But overall, in 2020, franchise businesses contributed over $670 billion in economic output in the United States and represented 3% of the total nominal GDP. It's really fascinating to me. I mean, franchises are such a fabric of our society and a foundation to our economy. Another interesting piece of data here by Fran Data says that all of the economic damage created by the pandemic could be completely replaced in the franchise industry in 2021. I'm sorry, it could be completely erased in 2021. And specifically, franchising is projected to open more than 26,000 locations in 2021, add nearly 800,000 new jobs, and contribute over $477 billion to the United States overall GDP. And then the contribution to the economy is forecasted to grow by 7% overall in 2021. So very interesting concepts about franchising, really to think about these statistics. So I hope you enjoyed this video. And by the way, I know I didn't mention it, but check out the new studio. We've got some new stuff going on, and I'm really excited about it. I'm really excited to start making more and more fun and dynamic and engaging, more entertaining content. Most of my franchise content so far has been really kind of knowledge, technical based, but I'm excited to bring to you some more fun stuff. So if you have some ideas on some videos that you want me to make sure to drop a comment below. Also, make sure to go and grab my 7-step blueprint to business profits in 60 days, completely free 28-page PDF on my website. We'll show you how to create any profitable business in any industry at any time. If you've made it this far, thanks so much for sticking around, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one.